it's almost time for the great culling to begin. I said, what? She said, culling, C-U-L-L. I said, I know the word. What are you talking about? She said, the culling of the useless eaters. I said, remember, this was 2002. I said, what's a useless eater? She said, not what, my dear, who. If you want to rouse my ire, call me by a diminutive or an affectionate term when we have no affectionate relationship really irritates me. But anyway, she said, not what, my dear, who? And I said, okay, who are useless eaters? And she said, those people who are consuming our non-renewable resources. And I said, did it ever occur to you that you're consuming their non-renewable resources? And she said, oh, that's an interesting idea. Well, anyway, she said, dismissing that. And she was prepared to go on. And I said, so how many of these useless eaters are you culling? And she said, 90%. And I said, 90% of what? And she said, the total world population. And I said, because I'm fairly inquisitive person, I said, wait. Your enormous fortune, and this woman who did not pay her bill, by the way, to me, the little doctor, this woman is one of the wealthiest people in the world. So I said, your enormous fortune, your enormous wealth is based on selling massive amounts of shit to huge numbers of people. So if you don't have huge numbers of people to sell massive amounts of shit to, how are you going to maintain your enormous fortune? And she said, huh, you really don't understand, my dear. I said, clearly. She said, the mercantile era, which began in the 14th century with the Hanseatic League in Germany, is coming to an end. We are moving to the neo-feudal era, with us, the neo-aristocrats, at the top, surrounded by our servants and servitors. You don't often hear the word servitor in a sentence. Surrounded by us, our servants and servitors. And below them, our technicians. And that requires only about 10% of the current population. Everyone else is extraneous. Fast forward to Yuval Harari. Anyone who doesn't go along with the program deserves to die. Same thing. Everyone else is extraneous. Well, she left, and I said, as I alluded to earlier, this woman is batshit crazy. She's a psychopath. She was raised to be a psychopath. But has she given me a clue? And I started pursuing the information. And what I discovered was, yes, indeed, she gave me a clear road to understand exactly what was laid out. And that is why, since 2004, I have been saying we have to solve the central problem. We have to kill the beast, not deal with the tentacles of the beast. And the sexualization of children and the pedophilia that's being normalized. And by the way, on March 8th of this year, 2023, the United Nations issued a judicial recommendation. It is not binding. It has huge weight, but it is not binding. And if you read the judicial recommendation, as I have done, you will find that nowhere does the word pedophilia appear, but it does say, it amplifies the concept that every child has a right to a sexual partner. Excuse me? What? Every child has a right to a sexual partner, and that if the partner consents, then all sexual activity should be decriminalized. That means that somebody says to a 3-year-old, if you touch me here, I'll give you a piece of candy. And the 3-year-old says, okay. And that is called consent. So the special class of children, the protected class of children, is being expunged. The criminalized class of predators, sexual predators on children, is being expunged. The only time that it is a criminal act to have sexual connection is if one of the parties cannot consent. And consent is anything. So there is no age of consent. If there is no age of consent, parents have no right to prevent consent in anything. So this judicial review not only normalizes pedophilia and sexual molestation, it also normalizes the absolute dissolution of the concept of parental rights. Now, this is quite cataclysmic, and this is a review that is designed to guide every legislature, every judge, every prosecuting attorney, whatever the particular title is. So the judicial system is now taken over and fitted to the colonization of children's minds. When you sexually traumatize a child, when everybody in the child's life is a predator, teachers, parents, etc., when there's no one to trust, you stop the development, the emotional development. You stop the rational capacity. You change the neurotransmitters of the brain and the entire physiology of the body. And then this individual is more malleable, more controllable, more gullible, and more distractible. We know that. That's what happens to people who have been abused as children. And this makes everyone in the child's life an abuser, starting at birth. Parents masturbating children. Parents are to become pedophiles on their own children, incestuous pedophiles. Woohoo! Sounds like a great plan to destroy every structure in humanity from the inside out. Plus, transhumanism and gender affirmation. Oh, as a scientist and as a human being, as a physician, I have a huge secret to tell humanity. There are two genders. That's it. You only get two. There's nothing in between. It's binary. It's either XX or XY. And XX is female. Girls grow up to be women. That's the definition of a woman. XY, boys grow up to be men. That's the definition of man. And that's it. And everything else is social engineering, gaslighting on a massive global scale, with destructive consequences that are literally unimaginable. So, what do? Yes, we have to protect children. Yes, we have to go to school board meetings. Yes, we have to not go to Disney World and so on and so on. Yes, we have to do that. Yes, we have to take control of our elections. But if we forget that we are being colonized, we are being destroyed as independent, self-sufficient thinkers, doers, beers, members of every structure that we have evolved over all of our development, by forgetting that we have to get our countries out of WHO and the United Nations, etc., then we are wasting our time. How do we do that? It's real simple. The head of state, whoever, whatever sock puppet, and a sock puppet, has somebody else's hand up its ass and it is moving its lips. That hand is moving its lip. Whatever sock puppet is sitting in the chair designated head of state chair has to write a letter. And the letter has to say, we're not part of your organization anymore. We're out. That's it. That's the easy part. The hard part is developing the political will to say to that sock puppet, don't you dare destroy my world. And by the way, in my view, the three most important words that a free person can utter are don't you dare. That is what we must say. And so when millions of people use their freedom mouse, everybody's got one, and send emails, just simple emails, no violence, no guns, no weaponry, send simple emails to their head of state saying, get us out of here now. We do not consent. Consent, by the way, is death in this situation. We're about to see new lockdowns. No, consent is death. Separate discussion. When we say we do not consent to having our tax money paid to these organizations, we do not consent to being party to the organization that has stormtroopers on our soil to destroy us. We do not consent. Get us out. The oligarchs, whom you call Mr. Global and their sock puppets, Mr. Global is far too nice. The oligarchs fear losing control of their control. And we can force them back. I know that because the Natural Solutions Foundation has changed U.S. and foreign policy simply by rousing demand. My very favorite law firm on the planet operates in every country. It's called Hubbub and Uproar. Wonderful law firm. And we control it. We are the stockholders. We are the partners in Hubbub and Uproar. And when enough people say, don't you dare, they don't dare. That's the miracle of this. They don't want us to know that all of the power actually resides not in their colonialist hands, but in our hands, in the hands of the ordinary men and women who can think for themselves and who can say, my world is being destroyed. I will not comply. I will not allow this to go forward. 6 emails mean nothing. 600 emails mean nothing. 6,000, 600,000 begin to mean a little bit. But 6 million or 60 million tell the oligarchs that they're about to lose control. And that is not acceptable to them. So they step back, and then we can reorganize and fix things. But until then, and without that, we are quite literally slated for extermination, whether we're Jewish, whether we're Hindu, whether we're Jain, whether we're atheist, whether we're white, whether we're black, whether we're green with purple spots. We are slated for death or destruction if we are allowed to survive. And it is our responsibility, yours and mine, to say, don't you dare, and to take action. I have created a website called preventgenocide2030.org, preventgenocide2030.org, where people from many, many countries can find resources to take these steps, plus a great deal of information and their documents, not my documents, their documents. By the way, the fact that they write this stuff out and tell us what they intend to do and make it public is an indication of their megalomania, speaking as a psychiatrist, which translates into more batshit crazy. They really think they can get away with this. And if we allow them to, we have signed our own death.